Hey guys, welcome to Vengoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose, and this is my partner Vendetta. Say hi, Vendetta.
Yo.
Yo, indeed. And today we're bringing you some FTL gameplay, and in the weeks and months to come here, we're going to be putting some Simcity and eventually Starbound stuff on here. So let us know what you think, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. All right, so we've got the Mantis A ship here. This is the Flaming Goose. That's the name of the ship. I know you love it.
Name.
And this is a boarding ship for sure, although it does only have the dual teleporter there, which kind of stinks.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the B-type variant of this has a 4-person teleporter, which is much more deadly, but I decided I wanted to try and play through this one first.
Is this your first playthrough with this ship?
Yes. Yeah, I had never really gone through the game with this ship before, and I'd actually unlocked it a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, but for some reason the boarding just never seemed like an attractive playstyle to me. I'm more of the the gunner type. I just want to tear everything up. But I actually had to take a teleporter for one of the unlocked ship missions in the game, and once I got it, I ended up using it a ton, and it ended up being a blast to use. And it's also just insanely helpful for the final battle if you make it that far anyway, because it can be a bit of a slow start. As you'll see here, there's just every single battle is taking a couple guys over to the other ship and trying to tear them down, and it's much more about killing the crew than it is killing the ship.
Oh my gosh, your guys are so close right here to dying.
Yeah, especially Borman up there. I think he has like 1 HP.
Yeah, that was amazing. You're playing a really fun game of merry-go-round on the enemy ship
Yeah,
there.
well, right here in this first battle, I learned the dangers of an enemy med bay. If the enemy has a med bay, they are going to use it the same way that you would. It makes perfect sense. So a lot of the times it's a really good idea to bomb the med bay like that, like I just did, and then beam your guys into the med bay so that they can't repair it. If you're in there, they can't repair, they're just going to fight you. So that's the best way to take them down, and I learned that lesson very fast. And immediately get picked up with another crew, which is awesome.
Excellent start. Yes.
That's a great thing, because we start with 3 Mantis on this ship and 1 Engie, and I elected to put my Engie on the engines.
Yeah.
And let him hang out. Yeah, I figured that was a better spot for him.
I would have actually swapped maybe get your 3rd Mantis for a boarding. Well, I know you actually, I'm sorry, you do only have the 2 teleporter.
Yeah, absolutely. If I had the 4-person teleporter or 3 or whatever, then I certainly would be taking the other Mantis, but I decided to stick with these 2, and they're my boarding team. There are a couple of points later when I can't board, say, onto an automated ship, and at that time, that's a great time to redeploy those 2 guys to better positions.
Ah, there you go, using that tactic again. Really effective here in the first couple sectors, it appears.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of, strange, too, to find a bunch of ships that even have med bays in Sector 1.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
This first few just really seem to go with it here. But we definitely take some damage whenever they have missile launchers. It seemed to me that it was really important to try to get cloaking very fast.
Yeah, to kind of up your dodge rate, or your evade rather.
Exactly, yeah, because those missiles will just tear you up when you're trying to get out here. One other quick side note that I found entertaining of this. One of the other videos, another channel actually that I watched, is this guy Omrecker is his name. He goes Mass Gamer is another tag that he used, but you'll notice the second Mantis there that I had there is named Ohm. He was actually a beta tester, or an alpha tester really, for this game.
Really?
And he was placed in the game by the developers, which I thought was kind of nice.
That's awesome.
But in watching any of his videos, he's never found himself. He always complains about it in his videos. It's hilarious. We'll put a link in the description for him so you can check it out. It's pretty funny. But I was literally just watching his videos the other day, and he was constantly complaining that he never found himself, and a bunch of his subscribers had sent in that they see him all the time, and there we have it, and he's right on my crew, and he's...
I believe I've come across Dome several times myself.
Yeah, it makes me, I'm pretty sure I'd seen him before, as a matter of fact, before this time, so I guess he just has insanely bad luck.
Yeah. Something I'm noticing, which is interesting, you're only running with your small bomb and you're not using your basic laser. Is there any kind of reason for that?
Well, the biggest reason is, I don't know if you've ever tried to use the basic laser, but it is a single shot weapon.
Oh.
So it's no good getting through shields. It'll hit the shield and then it's got to recharge again. So it's a pretty terrible weapon.
Pointless, in other words.
Yeah, so really the small bomb is the only thing that has the capability of doing anything right now.
Gotcha.
And, you know, you can teleport through shields. So
Yeah.
basically
Unless
I
it's
just need...
Zoltan shield.
Unless it's a Zoltan shield, that's right. You do have to take down the super shields, the big green blobs. But still, this works out pretty well. I do get a little squeamish sometimes when I see those drone control stations on there, because if they have an anti-boarding drone, they'll make quick work of your boarding party.
Yeah.
At least until they level up. When they level up their fighting, they're pretty beast mode.
That human was doing work on your two Mantis guys.
Yeah, sometimes you just come across some crew that seem to be really upgraded in their fighting for whatever reason, and other times you just totally decimate the entire ship in no time flat. So I learned it pretty fast, but
Yeah, probably a bit of the randomness, I'd say, with FTL. You probably, you know, come across varying degrees of skill.
yeah, exactly. Now right here you notice a lot of people right away will, when they get that encounter there, to either fight that ship or hire them to delay the rebels or hire them to scout the sector. People just instantly click on fight the ship. You know, oh my god, I need stuff. But it's actually
Yeah.
a much better tactic most of the time if you're early in the sector to go ahead and hire them for 10 or 20 scrap or whatever. And then it just freezes the rebel advance for at least 2 jumps whenever that happens. So
Yeah, that's a really good thing. I mean, that's an opportunity to find another store, find some more scrap. You know, everything is about resources. Really important early on.
yeah, exactly. And for the light investment of, you know, between 10 and 20 scrap typically to do that, it's just a much better tactic. In my opinion, it's done me very well. You'll also notice there in that store, went ahead and picked up sensors, which
Yeah,
think
I didn't
is-
even notice you didn't have that.
Yeah, it does not come pre-equipped on this ship. You know, so I bought them and then instantly I would like to get those upgraded to the 2nd level as quick as possible so that you can see the interior of the ship that you're going to board onto. Very critical when you're playing a boarding ship to know where the enemy is. Also to know what species they are. There's a couple times, you know, you can come across a Mantis ship. You don't want to send your crew over to a Mantis ship.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty.
So yeah, they'll take you down pretty fast. But ships like this, your 2 guys here, you 2 Mantis can take down 3 humans pretty easily. They can take down 2 rocks without any trouble. Zoltans are a complete joke. Seriously, there's just nothing funnier than ripping down a whole crew of Zoltans with 2 Mantis. They can't put up any sort of a fight.
Yeah, they have like only 70 HP, and I think it's the Ingi that has the half damage.
half combat damage. Yeah, the Engi you're just terrible as well. You know, but the Zoltan or the Engi are my favorites to fight. Humans, like I said, occasionally you do find one that has some skill, but
They're like paper mache.
yeah, most of the time you just carve them up. Which is the fun of playing this ship. If you really want to try out some boarding, this is definitely the way to go. So here's an automated ship, and I'm actually reading it and trying to determine if I want to even have this encounter, because I know I can't send my boarders over there.
There you go. You charge up your basic laser, no shield.
Right, so yeah, I don't want to just blow through a ton of small bombs here, tearing down this ship. So you just charge up the basic laser and, you know, we're going to have a little fire here. Notice I did send my crew over here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and you know what? We totally whiffed on it earlier, but I got dropped. One of my crew members got dropped on an attack earlier. So
Yeah, you did.
yeah, I'm back
Noticed
down to
that.
my 4 crew, unfortunately, at this point. So I meant to send both of my Mantis here to the shield room and the weapons bay, but for some reason I misclicked the weapons bay up there. You'll notice I just got a dude hanging out in the doors room for no reason. He's just, you know, bored or something. He's mentally challenged. He's fine. But this is like an exercise in patience here a little bit at the beginning of the game when you have just this horrible basic laser that only does 1 shot. You just have to sit there and wait for it to charge and, you know, blast the enemy away. So
Yeah, it usually takes, I would say, a couple sectors to really get some kind of basic, you know, halfway decent loadout.
exactly, and especially in a ship like this where you start off kind of weak, you know, as far as basic systems are concerned. You got your teleporter and all, that's nice, but you just got your single shield there. You only got 2 in the engine, notice, so, and not even enough power to really put it in there,
Yeah.
unless you keep the med bay offline there, which generally speaking you want the med bay online so you can heal up your guys when they get back from an assault. So
Absolutely.
but yeah, and then also of course the sensors you want to keep up, but the subsystems down there at the bottom right don't take any power, thank God.
Yeah, I know. I would be in trouble.
Now, this is a fun situation here. These guys have 2 beam weapons. So you got the drone here with the beam, and you've got the enemy ship with the beam, but they're just level 1 type beams. They cannot get through even a single shield bubble. So you could literally sit here all day and just let these beam weapons charge up your shield guy, if you had one, which I don't. So I just sent him over to go ahead and solve the problem as quickly as possible. But yeah, once again, very, very close to death on board.
Oh, your guy there leveled up. I don't know if that was Boram or
I think that was Ohm that leveled there. But yeah, it doesn't take that long for them to get some pretty solid attack power there. And you'll see they rip through people. It's a beautiful thing. But this is your standard fare playing the Mantis ship. You go over, kill everybody, come back, heal up your crew, send them back to the teleporter room, and get ready for the next encounter. And it's just rinse repeat for a little while.
It's looking like you're doing pretty good on scrap. I mean, early on. Yeah,
it's a mistake I've made sometimes playing FTL, where you get a decent amount of scrap, and I'm just talking between 1 and 200 or so at the beginning, and you kind of instantly want to spend it. You want to get that first shield bubble upgrade. You want to get those first couple engine upgrades, or bring more weapons online, or whatever. But in this instance, I was really, really, really after a cloaking system. Like, that was my absolute goal, and that's going to be 150 from a store.
Yeah.
So have to save up that amount and hope that we can do it. Pay their toll. This is hilarious. Now, this is a Mantis ship, but notice they don't have a teleporter down there. It's the only reason I decided to go ahead and fight them.
I like that tactic, though.
Yeah. Now, these guys also don't have a med bay, and there's only 2 of them, so I believe I still did board them here. Especially your weapons can actually do some harm to the enemy targets here. Notice how it did damage the actual guy there.
Yeah,
if you can put some actual damage on the crew before you go over, all the better, and that's certainly a great tactic if you're fighting Mantis. You want to get those guys as low as you can possibly get them before you go and board. Otherwise, they'll just rip through you like tissue paper.
Yeah, Mantis are extremely tough. I've been killed by them. I've lost a lot of games getting boarded by them. Very frustrating.
Indeed, yeah. If they send 4 guys to your ship, it's pretty much just time to throw the keyboard,
Yeah,
monitor
absolutely.
bust an hour right then.
Hulk smash.
Exactly. It's an awful, awful, awful experience, but especially if they've managed to pull that off in like Sector 7 or something like that. It's just
awful.
It's rude. You've blown an hour and a half. You got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, your reward is a, disintegrated ship.
Right. Oh, and you get a nice little posting on your score screen that doesn't have the word victory underneath it. That's always nice. A little consolation prize for you.
That's right. It's like, congratulations, you failed.
Yeah, it's a little reminder every time you see your score sheet. Look at the number of times I've lost.
It's almost like they're trying to rub it in.
It seems so. I take it that way. Personally offended.
That's right.
The developers here. I'm still blown away that this is the first game that was made by Subset Games. They did such a great job.
Oh, I know. I couldn't believe it.
So yeah, they're right there. You notice I did go ahead and invest in the second shield bubble. I'm in the second sector. I'm heading into the second sector now, and you start finding ships with burst lasers and things like that. I was willing to take the risk. This encounter here, always when you find the slavers, go ahead and attack them, and they will always, 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 at the end of the encounter, right before you blow them up, they'll offer to send over a crew member for you if you'll spare their lives. Unless you're full on crew, generally a good idea to accept that offer.
That's a nice tactic there. Instead of, foregoing 45 scrap, you get essentially a free crew member.
Exactly, yeah. You can pay them for the crew, or you can just fight the ship, and as long as you're not using 45 scrap worth of materials, and repairs, it's well worth it to go ahead and do it. You notice there I had to move one of my guys out because he was
yeah, he's hurt.
a bit, but Usually they only tend to bring down one guy at a time, so if one's getting pounded, you just move them away, and your more healthy boarder will take care of the rest. So heal Ohm back up there again.
Ah, did you get another Mantis?
And we did get another Mantis. He sent a Mantis. So yeah, we've gotten a couple of Mantis in the last couple of encounters now, so we have a fully manned ship now, which is great. I mean, I'm missing that Angie. Would still be nice to have, strictly for the repair potential. But
I like your selection there of the sectors.
Yeah.
Let's go Rebel or Rebel.
It's going to be Rebel, or this time we might choose Rebel. Let's see what we think. Yes, we went
Yahtzee.
Rebel. Yahtzee, yeah. Oh, shoot. All right, so there's our store. We've got 120 scrap. So we're going to pick up a couple of encounters here and hope we get to 150 so we can go up there and buy the cloak. Here's one of these special encounters here. You have the teleportation beam, and it gives you a nice little blue encounter to go up there and get some material. We got the updated star map for this sector.
Oh, I love it when that happens. That's
Yeah.
such a key. It makes your route planning that much more efficient.
Exactly, and if you want to stay away from the hazard zones and things like that, you can do that. If you're in an area of the galaxy there, in a sector that's a little bit overpowered for where your ship is at the moment, you can avoid enemy ships for the most part, and just try and head for those, you know, free crap zones, you know?
Yeah, exactly. My personal favorite is, you know, when I'm low on crew and then I jump into a sun. I'm like, oh, excellent.
Yeah,
that's what I need. Fire.
Now here's the situation, you know, we set off the bomb in the weapons bay and it lights a fire. That's not a situation where you want to send your crew in to board the ship. So I'm waiting until they get that fire out, and I didn't notice there was a fire left behind that one guy. So quickly get them out there, let the fire do its damage, and then come in there and go ahead and finish them off.
Excellent tactic there.
Yeah.
Looks like they managed to get a shot on your doors. Your doors are broken.
Yeah, they got a Pegasus shot, or not, probably an Artemis at this stage, just a standard missile hit on there, but not really a big deal. While we're healing up our borders, we send in the extra crew here to get the doors back into shape. Unfortunately, with a largely Mantis crew, repairs take forever, but still it's important to go ahead and train them up as much as possible for the battles ahead. You definitely want to have them with some repair training.
Absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, that store ended up being sort of like a quest location, and it dumped out on me, so I didn't end up getting a chance to buy anything. And here we have, again, you know, the automated ship with no shields, and we have our basic laser to just tear it down. Now, one thing you can do, if you have an upgraded teleporter, and even just a level 2 teleporter, you have just enough time to beam your crew in and have them attack the ship right until the level 2 teleporter is ready to bring them back. And if you get them back right when that happens, your crew will have about 10 health or so left from suffocation damage. So you can beam over to an automated ship with a level 2 teleporter, but I don't have one, so I'm just relegated to sitting here and blowing it up one shot at a time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Pew.
Yes.
Pew. Pew.
Stay still there for me. There you go.
Automated ships, at least in the early sectors, seem to have very poor evade chance. But once you get a little farther out, they start to really light it up.
Oh, yeah. They can be some of the most annoying encounters in the game, which is why it's always a good idea to, if you can make a shot on the pilot room, even though they don't have a pilot, if you take out the pilot room, they drop all their evade. Here's another blue teleporter event. It's free scrap. And we get a crew member.
Excellent.
A rock. Guess where he's going? O2. Always. I love sending the rock to the O2 room because it's one of the favorite targets of enemy ships, and it tends to start a lot of fires in that room. And of course, the rock are immune to fire, so great to have
Excellent
him in.
use of his racial skills.
Yeah, and you certainly don't want him trying to run around the ship because he sucks at that. And a little quest marker there for us.
You're getting quests left and right here.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a couple distress calls, quests. There's another store over there. We're going to make, you know, headway for that for sure. Try and pick up that cloak, as we said. We're going to be finding more and more and more missile ships pretty soon, and it's going to be very important to have that cloak.
So you got 2 rock members here on this ship. He looks like, yep, there you go. Send them in right away.
Yeah, right away, no problem. The Rock do have that 150 health, so they have the enhanced health, but they're still no better fighters than humans. And my upgraded Mantis here can just make work of them without too much trouble.
Yeah, they're doing work like nobody's business.
Yeah, they put the hurt on them. I mean, it's a bit of an issue occasionally. I'll have to dip somebody out, but I'm watching the health very closely there, you'll see, making sure that they're not going to get capped. Got down to 7 health there on Borman.
Oh, he's going after him.
Yeah, he was trying to come after him. The game's kind of strange that way. If it feels like it could get a kill shot in, even if they're low on health, they'll come after you and try and make that shot, even if they know they're going to die.
Lucky for him, though, he also leveled up during that, so that was a good trade-off.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. It's really important to get those levels as quickly as possible on your borders, because it just makes all the difference in the world. So get these guys healed up, put them back into position, and then I believe it's time. You can go to the distress call there first, or we can head to the store. I wanted to pick up a little bit more scrap, so we'll go to the distress call.
Never a bad idea.
No. Now these guys, of course, they want fuel, but vast majority of the time it's a good idea. And here they put on a Hull Smasher laser for a cost of 4 fuel, which is the equivalent of around 12 scrap. Well worth it.
Yeah, that was an excellent pickup right there.
Yeah, so now we have the ability. That's a 2-shot laser right there. We just got to get the power for it, of course. But we, again, want to be able to buy that cloak. So critical. Defense is so important in FTL.
It really is. I mean, it can save your bacon on more than one occasion.
Indeed, and it's just one of those things, especially in a ship like this, where I have the ability to take out ships without good weapons right now because of my borders. So it's much more important to get the defense up. Because here's another missile ship, so of course, first priority, get those weapons down. That's key. And of course, it takes 2 shots, and he heads for the med bay. They like taking out the med bay on my ship for some reason. And then as soon as we get that weapons room down, the next target, typically should be the cloak, just to keep the battle from going on forever.
Yeah, they also do, the automated drones do self-repair as well. I know you can't see here because you don't have the 3rd-tier sensors, but it's slower than, say, a crew repair, but it will repair itself.
Yeah, it can be really annoying too if you get one that's very good at repairing, because you can take down, say, a pilot room, and while your weapons are recharging, they'll push it back up to at least orange. But most of the time, as long as you keep constant fire on the ship, it's not a problem. But of course, when they have a cloak like this, sometimes they manage to pull a weapon back out while they're cloaked. So, as he did here. But since it's the laser, I didn't really seem to mind that much. If he pulls,
yeah, that's not a big deal.
Right, but I don't want him to get that missile system back up, so I went ahead and switched targets back over to the weapon system.
Good strategy. Finish him off there.
Yep. A little bit more scrap, a little bit more fuel. And we see that the rebels are still really far away, and we haven't needed the cloak yet. So I went ahead and just finished off this top area here before heading to the store. And this is just another quest here. We've got a defector that wants to come to the ship.
Interesting.
If we'll fight the rebels. And he's a human. Unfortunately, we didn't pick up another Engie or anything, but at least we have another guy. And I think we just kind of stationed him in limbo here.
Yeah, but it looks like, you're in the end of Sector 2 here, but you already have a full crew, which is very good.
Yeah, that's incredible, especially with a boarding ship, because in the terrible event where you would lose one or both of your boarders, you have a couple of guys ready to take over operations if you have a full crew like this. But generally speaking, if you monitor your guys pretty well, it takes a fairly unlucky set of circumstances to lose boarders once they're upgraded like this. But these guys just have no prayer at all. It's 2 humans on the ship. They're just left here, and they're terrible.
And you already have, I believe, Tier 1, maybe even Tier 2 fighters.
Yeah. Yeah, I check him here a couple of times. And here we go. Here's a heavy laser Mark 1 that they just decided to give to us, too, at the end of this fight. So now we're starting to pick up some better weapons, and without having to buy them, which is always excellent.
Yeah, because, even if you don't want to use them, or say you don't have the power to use them, you can still sell them for scrap.
Exactly. So here, checking out the power requirements and what we might have to do to trade up. It costs still just 1 power to put that heavy laser into play, but a shot from the heavy laser does 2 damage, whereas the basic laser only does 1, so that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and your charge time is 1 second lower, which may not be that big of a deal, but every little bit helps.
Absolutely, sure, and there's no reason not to. Also, something else just to notice there too that I saw neglected to mention at the beginning is that Mantis pheromones ability that comes with the Mantis ship. Just gives all of your crew members on the ship 25% faster movement, so they can get around really nicely. Helps immensely if you do have boarders on your ship to get over the
yeah,
problem
absolutely.
and get rid of them. So here we definitely have the option to pick up the cloaking, and we'll definitely do that. Buy a little fuel because we're low, and fix all the damage, and now it's time to decide what else we want to do. We're going to get rid of the basic laser because there's no reason we'll ever use that again because it's the most awful laser ever.
That's probably the worst laser in the game.
Yeah. And what I'm debating here is to get rid of the Heavy Laser Mark 1 in favor of the Burst Laser that's for sale. And the only reason we're considering that is because the Burst Laser fires 2 shots, which is the best for tearing down shields.
Yeah.
So, and or the Hull Smasher Laser is the same way. That fires 2 shots as well. And if that hits empty rooms, then generally that's the best way to go. So.
Yeah, it does twice the damage.
Right. But the timing is a little lower, and the scrap was a little bit cheaper on there. And I believe what we ended up doing is sell the heavy laser here and we pick up the burst laser. And that would couple with that with the small bomb here when you actually have some potential to actually destroy a ship with weapons alone, which is something we haven't had to this point yet.
Yeah, you're missing some power there in your weapon systems, but I'm sure you're going to remedy that shortly.
Exactly, it's coming. And in retrospect here, I probably could have just went ahead and bought the hull laser just to keep it the same on charge time. But I believe later on we come across another hull laser anyway. So notice also, interestingly, that first upgrade for weapon system on the Mantis ship is 60, and then it drops back down to 20. Or to 25, so they really charge you heavily for that first extra point in the weapon system, and then it follows a normal progression after that. I haven't noticed that before on any other system on any other ship.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that either. I didn't think it was that high, because that's extremely expensive.
Yeah, that's enough for typically a 4th or 5th tier upgrade right there, and they're charging it for you for the very first one. So here we are at the end of Sector 2, and it's time to hit the exit. And we're not really using drones here, so definitely go ahead and sell those 6 drone parts for some scrap, because we were basically out after that store trip. And here we can take a look at the ship. We'll bring back up the ship interface here in just a second and take a look at the upgrades that we got. But in decent shape here, we have enough power to keep the burst laser or the hull laser online at the same time as the small bombs. We can actually do a little bit of damage, which is great. We did get our
still have your boarding.
Yep, we still have our boarders. We've got a cloaking system here, you know, a couple levels and sensors. We've got 2 shield bubbles, so overall not doing too shabby, you know, for this first encounter. And we're going to have a choice of Zoltan or Rock Controlled. And that's where we're going to pick it up at the next video here. When we get to the next segment, we'll play through the next 2 sectors and see what happens on our Mantis A playthrough. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at the next video. And check out the subscribe button down there. Click that and help us out. We appreciate it. And
Clickety-clackety, clickety-clackety.
Clickety-clackety. That's right, guys. Seriously, we appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. All right, ready?
All right.
Hey, guys, welcome. This is the Vengoose. I said Zen. We're going to blow that up. Put that on the reel.
I'm totally saving this for outtakes.
Yeah, we should. That's pretty bad. All right.
I'm sorry. That was really funny.
Yeah, that's great. I am not being very zen right now because I'm apparently not concentrating on my partner's name. Perfect. It's a really winning way to start a channel.
That's right.
All right. Let's give that a shot. All right. Oh my God. So bad. Okay. Here he goes.